Okay, perfect. We're live. We make sure it's streaming in the Facebook group. Good, perfect. Okay. Hello, ladies. I'm so glad you guys are here. If you're here live, if you're catching it later, that's okay. You are in for a huge, huge treat. So tonight, I have the honor of having Elise Harlow of the Flourished Table. She is the CEO and the founder and the woman in charge of the business. And she's going to talk to us a little bit about what she does, but also do a demo of some great breakfast ideas. It comes up so many times that people struggle with breakfast. They either don't eat it or they just can't figure out what to do because it's hard. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and it's hard to come up with creative ideas, really. And most people find that they just need a little bit of help with starting with breakfast. So what says audio? Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah.
Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself, and then when you get going, I will just kind of get out of the picture so everybody can see your beautiful kitchen and your wonderful work.
All right, my name's Elise. I'm a registered dietitian and I practice functional nutrition. I help people make nutrition easy. So there's so much confusing nutrition information out there, and we all live busy lives. And so I help people integrate good nutrition into their life specifically. I also have a passion for cooking and good, nutritious food actually tasting good. So that's why I'm really excited to show you guys some recipes that I have today. And just like Dr. Jen said, it's definitely one of the number one things that I see happen is people are skipping breakfast for a couple different reasons. Like she mentioned too, it's just mornings are busy. We have so much going on trying to get out the door. And so I think sometimes that can take away our appetite in the morning. So there's not even really that drive to get in the kitchen to eat anything. Also, if they are eating breakfast, oftentimes I see people just grabbing something like a banana or a bagel, and then it's not necessarily a balanced breakfast to set them up for blood sugar stabilization and just feeling good throughout the day. So the recipes I'm going to show you today are all really easy. They're all meal prep friendly and they're all balanced. So the first one I'm going to show you is Zesty Blueberry Chia Seed Pudding. We are going to start with adding some chia seeds into a container. Hopefully you guys can see this. If you're not familiar with chia seeds, they're like little black, tiny seeds. They're pretty cool in that they absorb 12 times their weight in water. So we are going to add them to the container. And when we add the liquid, because they absorb so much liquid, they're going to become gelatinous and really create that pudding consistency that gives the chia seed pudding its name. All right, so I have in here 1/4 cup of chia seeds, and I'm going to add 1/2 cup of, this is Ripple milk, but you can use any milk of your choice. I like this one because it has a little bit more protein in it than something like an unsweetened almond milk, but any milk will work. So we will put in 1/2 cup of milk. All right. And then the second liquid we're going to use is something really that I think is really cool. So this is a cashew milk probiotic yogurt. And basically, this is just a dairy-free kefir. If you're not familiar with kefir, it's like your fermented milk drink. So it is kind of like a drinkable yogurt. It's more liquid, as you'll see when I pour it in here. But it has more probiotics than yogurt does. And probiotics are really good for our gut health, which can subsequently impact pretty much every area of our health, but certainly balancing our hormones, balancing our blood sugar, and managing our weight are 3 really big areas that gut health can impact. So between the probiotics and our dairy-free kefir here and the fiber that's in our chia seeds, this is a super gut-friendly recipe that we're going to be making. And on that note, I don't think I mentioned the fiber in chia seeds. So they are an excellent source of fiber. There is, I believe, 8 grams and 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. So to put that in perspective, 8 grams of fiber is about 1/3 of our daily fiber needs. And most of us aren't eating enough fiber. fiber is pretty cool because it helps to stabilize our blood sugar. It helps slow the digestion of food, which means we're going to stay full and satisfied for longer after we're eating. So that can help with blood sugar, like I mentioned. It can help with weight management as well. So I'm just going to add the kefir in here. And again, if you're not dairy-free, you can use a regular cow's milk dairy kefir. All right, and then we're going to add, I have a tablespoon of lemon zest here, and this is really the secret ingredient. So I have to admit, when I first tried chia seed pudding, I can't remember where I was, it was not that exciting. It was kind of boring, but chia seeds are super good for you. So I knew I wanted to make a recipe using chia seeds, but I wanted it to be really tasty. So I think I definitely accomplished that, but the lemon zest in here is definitely the secret ingredient. All right, so we have a tablespoon of lemon zest, and then we're gonna do a tablespoon of maple syrup. And this is gonna be 2 servings of chia seed pudding. So you can make this on a Sunday night and have it on Monday and Tuesday morning for breakfast. All right, so a tablespoon of maple syrup, and then we're gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, I already made a mess. Okay, so here's the part where we have to be a little bit careful. We're gonna use a fork to stir the chia seeds into the milk mixture here. And these chia seeds, they are gonna get a little bit clumpy. So you wanna use the fork to really break everything up so you don't have any clumps. As they gelatinize, they might start settling on the bottom of your container here. If it's a clear container like this, you can kind of pick it up and look to see if there's any clumps of chia seeds, but we'll also let it sit for a few minutes and then re-stir it. So I think this looks pretty good, pretty mixed together. And I'm going to grab the blueberries. We're gonna add a 1/2 cup of blueberries here. And I like to use actually frozen blueberries in this recipe as opposed to fresh because they're gonna let off their juices as opposed to where fresh isn't really gonna let off any juices. And those juices are gonna help to flavor the pudding without adding any extra sugar. So like I said, if we use fresh blueberries, they're not gonna have juices in it. And so they'll be tasty. Like when you take a bite of the chia seed pudding and there's a blueberry in it, you'll taste the blueberry. But this way we'll get blueberry flavor all throughout, again, without much added sugar. And it's gonna turn a really purple, a really pretty purple, but you can't see it or I'll spill it on the counter. All right, so that is it. Oh, I forgot. So chia seeds are a great source of fiber and fat, but we're really lacking protein in this recipe. I like to add collagen powder to my chia seed pudding as a protein source. And I actually prefer this over like a whey protein powder because this is actually flavorless. And a lot of protein powders, you know, some of them can be gritty and have, you know, they are all pretty much flavored. So depending if you like the flavor of protein powder, if you don't, you can go with the collagen like I do. We're just gonna mix that in. So now we have fat, fiber, and protein all in our chia seed pudding. And that is it. So we are going to just set this in the fridge. You wanna let this soak for at least an hour or two, but probably best to do it overnight. And you'll see in the morning, the chia seeds will kind of swell up. They'll get a little bit clear looking, a little bit translucent, and the pudding will be pudding consistency. So I made some yesterday so I could show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. But this is the chia seed pudding that's been sitting in the fridge overnight. So you can see it really is the consistency of a nice thick pudding. So when I'm ready to eat this, we have fiber, fat from the chia seeds, and then we added the collagen for some protein, but we are lacking in a little bit of carbohydrates. So for some extra crunch, we can sprinkle a little bit of granola on top. I like this granola because it's no sugar added. So the sweetener in here is actually just fruit juice. But I still recommend using granola more like a condiment, like sprinkle it on top just for some crunch and a little bit of carbs, as opposed to it being like the main event. And it's blueberry flavored too, so it goes along with our flavor scheme. All right, so that is recipe number 1, our zesty blueberry chia seed pudding. And I'm gonna put in the recipes in the Facebook group after this, so you guys can print out the recipes if you guys want. Okay, the next one we're gonna go more savory this time, and we're gonna make some egg muffins. So eggs are a great source of protein, but we tend to think of eggs as like a weekend meal because we have to get in the kitchen and heat up like the skillet and scramble or fry some eggs. But egg muffins are a way around doing that. And we get to sneak in some vegetables. So breakfast is also a meal that a lot of people skip fruits and vegetables at. And it's really my goal to help people get fruits and vegetables in at every meal. So that's 2 things I like about the egg muffins. Well, there's actually 3. 2, great source of protein. 1, great source of protein. 2, we get to sneak in some vegetables. And 3, I like them because they're meal prep friendly. So you can make these again on the weekend, keep them in the fridge, and then just heat them up for a little bit in the microwave when you're ready to eat them. So on my cutting board here, I have a half a cup of chopped bell pepper. I have a half a cup of chopped mushrooms and a half a cup of chopped spinach. And as you can see, I chop them pretty small because we're going to be putting them evenly distributed into the muffin tin. And if they're big chunks, they wouldn't really distribute well. I'm also only making half a batch today, so I'm going to be using 6 eggs, but you could easily double the recipe and make 12 eggs. And in fact, the recipe that you'll find in the Facebook group is going to be for 12 eggs, because why not make more when you're already in the kitchen? So cook once and eat multiple times throughout the week. So we're going to grab our vegetables and just kind of mix them together on the cutting board and then evenly distribute them. I'm going to do it into 6 of the muffin tins, but if you're going to make 12, then you'll do all 12 of the muffin tins. One question I get a lot is, should you be eating the whole egg or just the egg whites? Which is a great question, because it's one of the many things in nutrition that's always changing. Nutrition is a science, so there's always new information. But the latest information actually shows that food cholesterol, so the cholesterol found in egg yolks or in shrimp, actually doesn't increase your blood cholesterol. And egg yolks are a great source of a lot of different vitamins and minerals and some fat, which can help keep you satiated and full in between your meals. So I always recommend going for the whole egg. I have here 6 eggs cracked in this liquid measuring cup, and I use this because I like that it has a spout here that'll make it really easy to pour the eggs into the muffin tin. Not sure if you guys can see, but I have the vegetables evenly distributed in all of the tins. All right, to my eggs, I'm going to add, I have dried oregano, dried basil, and some salt. And I'm just gonna add that into the eggs. And we're gonna whisk everything together. And so this is gonna be, like, if we're thinking about how are we gonna create a balanced meal with these egg muffins, like I said, they're a great source of protein, but we need to have some carbs and healthy fat on our meals as well. So for carbs, I recommend having a good high fiber whole grain piece of bread. It can be gluten-free or regular, or maybe some high fiber like flaxseed crackers would be really good with this for some carbohydrates, and then some avocado for healthy fat. And you get a little bit more fiber with the avocado too. So now I'm going to pour the egg mixture into these muffin tins. And I will tell you, the first time I made these, I poured way too fast and the egg didn't have enough time to really seep down to the bottom of the tin, and the egg went all over the tin. So pour slowly and allow the egg to really soak through the vegetables and go to the bottom. But we're just going to evenly distribute the eggs through in each of the tins. And these are going to bake in the oven for 25 minutes. So it does take, I'd say maybe like 35 minutes in total between prep and cook time. But this will save you so much time during the week, and it'll help you start your day. Instead of just grabbing a bagel, you can start your day with a nice protein-rich breakfast, which will help to stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day, help you stay full and satisfied, and just have good energy throughout the day. So another thing I didn't mention too is a lot of times when people skip breakfast, these people are more likely to overeat later in the evening time. So if you're somebody who skips breakfast and then has dinner and just wants to snack all evening on the couch, you might be somebody that would benefit from having breakfast. All right, so I have the muffin tins filled with the egg mixture and with the veggies, and I'm going to put these in the oven for about 25 minutes. Also, when these are baking, you're going to notice they're going to puff up really high and they look very beautiful, but they will settle down as they cool. And so I made some beforehand so we wouldn't have to wait the 25 minutes. And this is what they look like when they are baked. So what I would do is I would take them out of the muffin tin, put them in a container, keep them in the fridge. And when I'm ready to eat breakfast in the morning, pop them out, make some toast, have some avocado, and I have a really quick breakfast. Another way I've actually been eating these recently too is I take a almond flour tortilla, I like Siete Foods tortillas, add some black beans and make myself a little bit of breakfast taco. So I'm actually from Texas originally, and we eat breakfast tacos all the time. So this is a quick and easy way for me to get my breakfast taco fix. So those are my two quick and easy balanced breakfast ideas. And I, again, will put the recipes in the Facebook group so you guys can make them at home. But does anybody have any questions?
Am I back on the audio?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long, you didn't mention before the chia seed pudding, how long can you keep it in the fridge?
I would keep it in the fridge for probably no more than 3 days.
Okay.
3 to 5 days. Yeah.
Okay. And then you said it's best overnight, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll show what it looks like right now. I don't know if you can see. It's already starting to thicken up a little bit, but it really needs a little bit longer. If you're wanting to eat it the same day, like I said, I'd say at least an hour or two in the fridge.
Perfect. I think I'm looking over in the Facebook group to see. I don't see any questions that are posted on there. You said that you like collagen powder. I was just curious about you. That's the kind I use. I love that stuff because it doesn't have any flavor and it doesn't, and you can put it in juice and it doesn't clump up because some of those powders just make this like clumpy mess. It takes forever and you can't get it to, I put that in coffee. Like I use it in a lot of different things. Do you, I assume you're a big fan of using the collagen powder for protein sources.
Yeah. You know, it's not a complete protein.
Yeah.
So if you were like a bodybuilder really trying to gain muscle mass, this wouldn't be the protein that I would recommend. But if you're eating different sources of protein throughout the day, whether it be plant-based or animal-based proteins, and collagen powder is totally fine. And so I always get asked about protein powders, which one is my favorite protein powder? And I've tried so many. At the end of the day, I just don't like the way so many of them taste. So that's really where my love for collagen is that it's unflavored. And like you said, it mixes in super easy. And in smoothies too, it doesn't leave that grittiness that a lot of the protein powders do.
Yeah, if their first ingredient is pea protein, they're going to be gritty and funky tasting. That's what I learned it with my collagen and with my protein powder experience was like, ooh, I don't like when it has pea protein the first thing because it just tastes so weird.
Yes, I felt that way about hemp seed protein too.
Yeah. Trader Joe's has a hemp seed protein one I have to use just a tiny bit.
I know.
It becomes this green, like lava mess thing that's a little bit much for people, but it's not bad. It's just, yeah, it's a different taste, right? For different people.
Yeah, exactly. I really want to like protein powders because I think it's a convenient way to get in more protein, which can be difficult sometimes if we're not, cooking ourselves a gourmet meal at each meal. But I'm not a big fan of the other taste. For only reason is the taste though.
Yeah, and the one thing else that you mentioned was fiber. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's hugely important. We really do not eat enough fiber.
Yeah.
And it's so critical for your hormones, especially to sort of get rid of that excess estrogen for people who have estrogen dominance issues. So, what are some good, besides chia seeds, do you have any other ideas for good sources of fiber?
Yeah, I like beans, lentils. Oats are another good source of fiber. So kind of similar to the chia seed pudding, you could make overnight oatmeal. You could have the oats and the chia seeds in there, and still use the same like flavor profile that we went over with the blueberries and the lemon zest. Other flaxseed, that's another one of my favorite fiber sources too. And you can kind of add that to lots of different things like smoothies, yogurt bowls, oatmeal. We could have even put that in the chia seed pudding. But one of my other favorite things to do is use a flax egg and when I'm baking things. So you mix the ground flaxseed with some water and it kind of gelatinizes similar to the chia seed. And then I get to save my eggs so I can make them in my egg muffins. And then I get some more fiber with the flaxseed.
That's a great idea, actually. I've seen it on recipes, but I've never done it myself. So it doesn't
Yeah,
sound that hard from what you're describing.
it's super easy. Yeah, you let it sit. I'll normally use a bowl like this and put some in there with the water, let it sit for maybe 60 seconds, and then it becomes kind of gelatinized and you just put it in there. I will say it doesn't have the same binding capacity as an egg does, but you get good nutrition in there, which is great.
Perfect. Well, I don't see any other comments. Where can people find you who might want to work with you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at The Flourish Table, or you can find me on my website at theflourishtable.com. There's a way to contact me on there, or you can DM me on Instagram too.
Perfect. Yeah. And also, people in the membership get a chance to work with you as well. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for showing us some great ideas. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And we appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and hit the end to the live, okay?
Okay, bye.